Martin Luther King said, "The arc of history is long, but it bends toward justice." This is the story of one particular arc of history that begins in Chicago's Grant Park during the chaos of the 1968 Democratic Convention and ends in Grant Park 40 years later on election night 2008.
Let's listen to Grant Park in Chicago. The celebrations begin.
It is the story of two community organizers who learned their craft in Chicago under the guidance of the legendary Saul Alinsky, who empowered the powerless by teaching that in unity there is strength.
It becomes a contest of power. Those who have money and those who have people. We have nothing but people.
In 1968, Robert E. Lee III was a 19-year-old Black Panther organizer from Houston, and on this night, 3 months after the Democratic Convention, he has volunteered to explain to these poor Southern whites gathered in a loft on Chicago's North Side how they might be able to change history by banding together with their black brothers and sisters in poverty. It will not be an easy sale.
What do you want? What do you want, man? What do you want? This is your community. This is your community. And we can't move without you. We can't move. We can't move without the people. There's welfare up here, people on welfare up here. There's people that receive ADC. Right. You know, there's police brutality up here. There's rats and roaches. Once you realize, man, that you're getting inadequate, man, education in these high schools, the junior high schools over here, you know, once you realize that you are paying taxes, taxes for the cops to whoop your ass, if you can realize that concept of poverty, a revolution can begin. Right on.
When Saul Alinsky saw this footage of Bobby Lee in action, he offered the young man a full scholarship in community organizing. After graduation, Bobby went back home to Houston, ready to remake the world. But Houston's historic Fifth Ward had been devastated, ironically, by integration. The success of the civil rights movement undermined local businesses, and an area already struggling became a war zone defined by chain-link fences and pit bulls. To fix this, Bobby would have to build a political organization from scratch, defeat the entrenched power structure, and install a group of honest politicians, all on a budget of nickel-and-dime donations.
If you want to do some organizing, you just walk out on your front porch, look to your left, and see how many neighbors you got on that left side. You look to your right, and you go and knock on the door and start chatting. And that spreads. Hey, Miss Thompson. It's Bob, baby. I got something for you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, I can
And walk ahead now. You want me to get them fixed up for you?
Well, I can just brush them down.
All right, but I can get them fixed up like you want, baby.
I get me a brush.
Okay, all right then. I just thought something you can mess around in.
Oh.
And thank you for this. What you got, the greens in here?
Greens.
Cornbread?
Cornbread.
All right. When you do that, and the senior citizen community in the working class area, they are the voters. They are our rock block. And when I do something like that, I do it, one, because I like doing it. But two, the reaction, man, when you get ready to gear up and give them responsibilities, they'll fulfill them, man. And you're looking good. The whole concept of just keeping it simple, drawing your turf, educating the people, and your turf can be a precinct, it can be a block club. And that's how Franco and I started out.
During the 2008 presidential campaign, candidate Barack Obama was ridiculed for his background as a community organizer. But if the critics had known what Obama knew about the astounding success of one community organizer in Houston, they would not have been laughing. In Bobby Lee's very first political campaign in 1979, against all odds and all predictions, he managed to get his little brother Franco Lee elected to the Texas State Senate in a landslide victory.
Franco won 89% of the vote. And a guy named Bill Murray, who's a political scientist at UT, University of Houston, he said something very peculiar has happened on the north side. A man named L. Franco Lee won all 16 precincts, even his opponent's precincts.
I need to get it from you there. How are you? Great, thank you.
Come on, y'all, come on in.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, you know what I'm looking for.
How are you? Heritage. Bobby Lee is an institution in our community. He is an anchor for Fifth Ward because there are thousands who believe they are disconnected. Bob Lee provides a connection.
With me, Miss Scott, you don't have to pay nothing. And I love the ideal of taking you to dinner. Okay. Is she 90 years old? Yeah, I thought she was 80, 75. I was flirting with her till she told me she was 90. Now, what heads did you want me to do?
Right there in the front.
He cuts yards for all kinds of people around here.
Well, he know how to cut yards. You know, do you know a lot of people don't know how to cut yards?
Yeah.
They don't know how to cut yards. But when he fixes it, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
I love him to do my yard. But what I don't like about him, he don't want to take no money.
Really? So the price of this is a vote, is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, bottom line, though. Right. That she can do.
Right.
And that's just how you build a block club. You can't build no block club by not doing something for folks.
How many votes you figure the average yard is good for if all those people walking by seeing you mowing?
I've seen it done. You know, each household may have almost from 8 to 10, some have 15. And a solid precinct Franco. You know, when you do this for somebody, Mike, and that's all you ask them to do, and you're doing it for free, and you're educating them and bringing them materials, they gonna vote. And they gonna tell their friend, oh, shit, no, girl, you vote for Franco.
Ultimately, the organization that Bobby built through simple acts of kindness would go on to elect 2 U.S. congressmen, several state officials, and a couple of Houston mayors. And in 1985, Franco Lee would become the first African-American county commissioner. He has been reelected 7 times. By paying attention to the fundamentals and focusing on the needs of the young and the elderly, the Lee brothers and their allies have transformed the Fifth Ward and Houston itself into a safer, more livable city for everyone. Their amazing success is a tribute to the power of grassroots organizing. When the election is over, Commissioner Lee does not have to answer to wealthy and powerful interests, so he is free to work for his constituents, and his constituents respond. In the last election, he carried his district with 93% of the vote. Tonight, the arc of history that began with a popular uprising of anti-war activists in Grant Park 40 years ago will end with the election of another community organizer from the grassroots school of Saul Alinsky. This improbable victory is a stark reminder that government of the people, by the people, and for the people depends entirely on you and me.
Mundane issues that a state senator deals with, and then some of the more weighty issues that a U.S. senator deals with.